underground, you rebel scum. This is the American Expat. I wanted to show you guys something really cool today. I took this photo with a 26-year-old digital camera. That's right, a camera that came out in the year 2000. I'm talking about the Sony Mavica MVC-FD85, FD standing for floppy disk. Yes, a camera that saves images onto a floppy disk drive. Now, some of you are looking at that detail and saying, well, no wonder the photo looked like that. Others are looking at it and saying, well, at least I hope there's some of you who are looking at it and saying, how did that camera that saves images onto a floppy disk drive take such an incredible photo? Well, today we're going to find out. So let's finish this coffee. We'll dive into a little bit of the history of the camera, what its stats are, and then we'll go out into the field and take some more photos and see what this thing is really capable of. Also comparing it to some film, the medium that came before digital cameras, the later digital camera, the Sony a7 IV, and even some iPhone photos to see where it stacks up with all of those things and what the limitations of the camera actually are. So again, let's finish this coffee and we'll go see what this thing is all about. Notice this amazing camera bag as we get ready to take this thing out in the field. I don't usually treat myself to new stuff, but the folks at Besnfoto thought my photography was worthy of this bag. They tell me it has 18 to 22 liters of space. I don't really think in terms of liters, but I can tell you it fits a lot of lenses. There's also a laptop sleeve, well, two of them, so I can bring my MacBook and iPad in case I need both for some reason. Actually, the iPad works as a second monitor, so that's great. There's this top compartment that I've been using to keep the floppy disk drive, a must when using floppy disk cameras. It's made of splash-proof material on the outside and splash-proof zippers. If you're a pro, you may find yourself in the weather. This thing will keep your gear safe. Inside, it's got padding all around the edges, on the stuff, the material, shock resistance, all the good stuff. And you can buy it from their store, linked in the description. Well, we're ready to go, so let's head out into town and try the Mavica. This isn't the first Mavica in the series. The original goes all the way back to 1981. This is where the name comes from. It means magnetic video camera. Megapixels. That camera was more like a proof of concept and captured still video images on a rotating magnetic disc. It was sort of like a proprietary Sony floppy disk. It also wasn't digital, but it paved the way for the FD85 and its old-timey floppy disk storage. Skip ahead to 1997, and the digital version gets released to the public. The photos are looking interesting, by the way. Notice something different in the colors? That's the Super HAD CCD sensor. Why Super HAD or HAD? Sony added some kind of micro lens for each pixel to try and reduce noise and gather more light. Out of space already. A roll of film has 36 exposures. At the highest resolution, this thing only fits 5. If you lower that, it can take like 15. That's not better than film, but you can't delete bad shots from a roll of film. This you can. Let's compare the old Mavica with my a7 IV while we wait for this floppy disk drive. Notice the difference in colors. I guess that's the CCD magic everyone talks about. Is it better? I'm not even going to bother talking about resolution. The Mavica saves 5 photos to a floppy disk. One raw image from my a7 IV would take up around 40 of those disks. That's more disks than Windows 95. Files transferred, let's get back out there. I've lowered the resolution to the standard, so we don't have to run back to the house right away. We're also going to do some comparing. Some with iPhone, some with film, and of course my a7 IV. First shot with the Mavica. How about those CCD Colors? How does it compare to the iPhone compression? How about the same thing on Kodak Color 200 film? Yeah, the Mavica's not quite there. Now up on the roof. The sun is coming up over the city. That's some interesting lens flare, like blue diamonds or something. Do you prefer the Kodak Color in my Nikon F100? How about the a7 IV? I don't know. I like the Mavica shots. They look interesting. Look at these. To me, it's surprisingly good for what it is. Well, photos taken. It's time to head back. Well, there you have it, the Mavica. It didn't do too bad. I mean, assuming you're not going to blow the photos up to like poster size, but at the scale that you would be using them back in the day, printing it off at Walmart or wherever on little photo papers, probably not all that distinguishable from something that you would have gotten out of Fujifilm or Kodak. It'd just be a difference in the colors at that point. Whether you want the greenish tint of the drugstore Fujifilm or, the warmer tones of Kodak or whatever they had available, Kodak Gold, I guess, at the time, and others. Or the Mavica's CCD magic colors. it would have been just fine. And social media probably didn't really exist. Okay, I take that back. It did. I think that MySpace was around at the time. I may have even posted some photos from an old Mavica on MySpace back in the day. They're probably still there on the internet somewhere. Me and my Jeep, something like that. Anyway, yeah, not too bad. Oh, by the way, did you know this thing does video? Yeah, you can probably get about 5 seconds of video if you want it. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think the video is gonna cut it. Even back in the day, it was probably not. You'd be reaching for the VCR cam or whatever. Not usable. But is it vintage? Is it interesting? No, probably not. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, is it fun to play around? It actually had a different mode. You could get what they called an email video, I think is what it was. One of the settings in the camera, and it would be like smaller than a thumbnail image that we would see today. Yeah, completely useless. I don't know that anybody ever did that, but I guess you could send it in an email back in the day. It also has different modes in the thing. You know, you have like sepia tone, there's black and white, something called negative art, which just makes a negative image of whatever you're taking a photo of, and regular, as we know. I destroyed that little statue in the process of making those photos. It fell and shattered. My memories of China being destroyed. I can just probably order another one on Amazon. Anyway, that's the Mavica. Let me know what you think. Did you enjoy it? And besides that, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.